live right now, or you may watch the recording later. However, this is not a compulsory tips, techniques, tricks, whatsoever. Okay, so you may choose which part of the sharing session that you want to apply when you write later on. Just a gentle reminder that your teachers know you better than I do. So I might meet you today for 2 hours, but the one who has been dealing with you is your teacher. So she or he knows better about your achievement, your ability. So mungkin kadang-kadang ada benda yang saya share ni, mungkin sesuai, mungkin kurang sesuai, atau mungkin perlu diadaptasi oleh guru-guru. So it all depends on your teachers, okay? So on how to adapt and adopt the technique so that you, all of us here, can benefit from this session. Okay, this session is not only for teachers, for students, for teachers who are here as well. Hello and hi. So I hope that everybody will benefit from this session. Okay, so this is the two of us. Cikgu Zatil from SMK Greek, 14 years experience in teaching. Meanwhile, that is the distorted image of me. Bukan distorted lah, the mirror image of me. Sebab you tengok t-shirt tu terbalik. So, I am Cikgu Hazwan, Guru Bahasa Inggeris from SMK Mahat Ihya Diniyah Islamiah, SMK Medi. 11 years of experience in teaching. And I hope that this session will benefit everybody, teachers, students, and all viewers who are watching today. Okay, so before we begin, so let's do a 2 truths and 1 lie. Saya akan campur-campur the language here and there, English and Bahasa. So feel free to use the chat box as well as the Telegram to ask questions or to respond to my questions. So we begin with 2 truths and 1 lie. So what I want you to do in the chat box is to write which number is a lie. Okay, the first statement, number 1. Kalau you rasa number 1 ni a lie, so you write in the chat box number 1. I started teaching at SMKA Segamat Johor, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Agama Segamat Johor. If you feel that this one is a lie, so write number 1 in the chat box. Number 2, my short story was used as a literature text for Ministry of Education in 2001. Okay, so if you feel that number 2 is a lie, so write number 2 in the chat box. And the third statement, I like drinking coffee. My favorite is kopi Cik Nah. So if you feel that number 3 is a lie, write number 3 in the chat box. So I give you maybe 1 or 2 minutes to write the number in the chat box. Here I can see 1, 2, 3, 3, 2,
already
1, 1.
Many questions, many answers, Mr. Wan. Luckily, I didn't reveal.
Let's see.
Luckily, I didn't reveal at the first part.
Yeah, please do it. Okay, so this is how we are going to get to know each other. Okay, so the first statement, I started teaching at SMK Segamat. I feel that number 1 is wrong. So number 1. Oh, ada yang tulis number pi, 3.14159. Actually, kita pakai 3.142 je untuk pi, easier for you to use. Okay, Maggie Busuk. Okay, so my short story was used as a literature text for MOE in 2001. Number 2. Kalau ada salah, itulah dia, number 2. Number 3, I like drinking coffee. My favorite is kopi Cik Nah. Okay. So is that all? Sponsors? Ada tak yang jawab dekat ni? Tak ada Okay. Oh, ada lah yang okay, ada juga yang jawab dekat Telegram. Good. Number 3 dia kata. Okay. So, let's reveal the first statement. I started my teaching career at SMKA Segamat Johor. So that is a truth. I did start my teaching career at SMKA Segamat Johor back in 2010. Number 2, my short story was used as a literature text for MOE in 2001. Okay, so for those who wrote that this is a lie, congratulations, you are on the right track. I do hope that someday my short story that I've written will be used as a literature text. So far, none. Tak apalah, biasa betul kan? Because there are other writers who are better than me, who can be considered to be included in literature text. And number 3 is actually a truth, whereby I like drinking coffee. My favorite coffee is kopi Cik Nah. Yang orang Perak mesti tahu ni, kopi Cik Nah, the most favorite one, the most famous one, beside kopi Antong from Taiping, ada orang Taiping, okay, is kopi Cik Nah. Okay, I wrote a story before. Wow, adalah story tu biasalah, kita short story kan, dia tulis tu, itu short story lah tu. Okay, so everybody knows how to write short story. So why kita tulis number 2 tu short story? It might be related with today's session. Okay, hope Sir's dream come true one day, insyaAllah. Can climb to the top. I don't want to climb to the top. I like to be at this level je kan. Together with you, can hurrah with you. Okay, so number 2 is wrong, Dad. Okay, so my short story has never been used. Okay, even I didn't even write a proper short story pun kan. So takkanlah tiba nak dipilih sebagai literature text kan. So, are you ready? So I hope that if you are ready, write in the chat box. You are ready? Yes ke? Apa-apa ke? Yes. Okay, can see Lost Squid Game ni sangat aktif. Okay, good. Can see a lot, everybody. Yes. Ready. Yes. Ready. So nampak macam baru lepas makan tengah hari sebab semua yes. I'm ready. Good. Okay, so let's get into the action. Kita masuk kepada sesi yang sebenar. Okay. So today kita akan tengok kepada, we are going to look at all the, not all lah kan. So basically to start with, I'm going to recap, to refresh your memory about the latest SPM format for 2021. I'm ready to be ready, said Ahmad Ashraf. Okay, I'm ready to be ready. Macam mana tu kita akan tanya dia kemudian. Okay. So we have 4 papers. Okay, calon-calon SPM 2021, we have 4 papers. The first paper is reading and use of English. Ini yang biasa except we don't have a summary and literature anymore. Okay, mungkin ada 1-2 soalan literature yang be embedded here and there, but it's not going to be a literature macam sebelum ni. Okay, 40 questions, 40 marks. Next we have paper 2, which is the writing. There are 3 parts, or there are 3 questions to be answered. 3 questions, 60 marks. Next we have speaking paper, paper 3. 3 parts. It is an individual assessment, even though you're going to enter the room with a partner, but still it is an individual assessment. Okay, awak akan di-assess secara individu. Okay, and then we have 24 marks for that. And finally the 4th paper, which is the listening paper. Okay, good. Listening paper. Kalau saya kata good tiba-tiba tu mungkin saya tengah scroll Telegram. Okay, yang pening-pening lah. Okay, listening paper, we have 4 parts, 25 marks, 25 question. Okay, the difference this year is that, this year lah kan, korang ambil tahun depan kan. So the difference for this format is that every paper carry 25%. Okay, the weightage is 25%. So reading 25% out of 40 marks. Writing 25% out of 60 marks. Speaking 25% and listening 25%. Daripada setiap paper, darab 4 dapat 100. Oh, sir, may I know how is the marking criteria for speaking? Awal tadi soalan ni. Good. Kita akan simpan soalan tu ke penghujung rancangan. Okay. Even though today fokus kita kepada writing, even though today's session is more on writing, but I will entertain any other question that is related to the paper. Okay. Good. So, now what I want you to do, if you can see right now, I have removed the second bullet for every paper. Kan? Tadi saya dah terangkan the format of papers. Now I have removed the second bullet of every paper. Apa second bullet tadi? Maybe number of question and also marks. Can you write in the chat box or in the Telegram how many questions that you need to answer for every paper and how many marks that you should get? The total mark for every paper. Okay, siapa yang sempat secatat ke apa ke? So as I mentioned earlier, dekat nota yang dikongsikan, there are certain part that I have removed. So if you look carefully just now, the second bullet has been removed. So try in the chat box, respond. How many marks per paper? How many questions per paper? Oh, ada yang terus kira 149, 149 marks. That's the total kan. Tapi kita still ambil carry the 25% for every paper. Okay, good. So you can see that some responses here. Okay, reading 40 question, 40 marks. Okay, writing 3 questions, 30 marks. Okay, writing 3 questions, 60 marks. Okay, ada yang kata 30 marks, ada yang kata 60 marks. Okay, writing 3 parts, 60 marks. Speaking 24 marks. Writing 3 parts, 60 marks. Okay, good. Okay, so good. You know the paper. Okay, so these are the components or the marks and number of questions that we need to score. 40 questions, 33 questions, 24 marks, 35 questions. Okay, so good. So for the purpose of today's session, okay, untuk hari ini we are going to focus on writing. Okay, however, as I mentioned earlier, if you have any question pertaining to other paper, please ask. I'll try my best to respond to your question. Okay, so we have, kita ada 2 sesi. So for today's session, we are going to look at part 3, which is extended writing. So before that, let's recap, let's refresh our memory about the 3 parts of the paper, or how many parts of the paper that we have to answer. So the part 1, we have short communicative message, 20 marks, number of words is around or about 80 words. Part 2, we have guided writing. The possible format, perhaps argumentative and expository essay. Okay, and then you have 20 marks over here, around 125 to 150 words we have to write. Okay, around this number of words. And for part 3, which is the extended writing, stated in the handout, betul lah tu. Tapi as I mentioned, certain thing that I remove from the handout. Extended writing, we have article, review, report, or story, 20 marks. You have to write around 200 to 250 words. Okay, so there are 3 questions, different number of words, different length of word that you have to length of essay that you have to write. Okay, so kita remove sikit. Part 1, tengok betul short creative message, tengok betul. Okay, and then let's remove some part of the slides. Can you write what should be written in part 1, what should be written in part 2, and what type of essay or the possible formats for part 3? Okay, part 1, what should be written? It's okay, I lost Squid Game. If you haven't seen the handouts yet, it is available in the Telegram. Part 1 is like Surat Cinta. Part 1, short creative message. Part 1, good. What about part 2? Okay, good. So part 1, short creative message, good. Part 2 is guided writing. What are the possible format for part 2? Okay, guided writing, argumentative, good. Expository, yes. And part 3, opinionated writing. Karangan berbentuk pandangan, opinionated. Okay. Okay, and for part 3, we have extended writing, report, story lagi. Okay, article, review. Okay, part 3, extended writing, article, review. Good. So you know your format and you know what are the possible questions that will appear in every section of the paper. So you have short communicative message for part 1. Somebody is raising hand. Kalau ada soalan, you can ask. Okay.
Yes, Farisa Iris M. Okay, Farisa, do you have any questions?
Apa ke?
or
Tak ada.
accidentally? Accidentally.
Accidentally. Fine, no problem. Okay, and part 2 we have get it writing. No, tertekan. Okay, jangan tertekan Jangan tertekan buat masa ni. Tak apa, jangan tertekan. Tak sengaja tekan tak apa. Okay, jangan tertekan. Okay. Argumentative, expository, extended writing, article, review, report, or story. Okay, so for today's session, we're going to look at, okay, before that, tadi saya ada tanya in the Telegram. So, I asked about how do you plan your essay and your preferences. Okay, which question do you like to answer? So saya tanya tadi, how many of you like narrative? How many of you prefer narrative writing? How many of you prefer review writing? How many of you prefer report writing? And I also ask how many of you, okay, I also asked about the planning part. Okay, there's one good question over there. Ini adalah jawapan dia kat situ. No, I asked about planning, whether you plan your essay before writing, or you use WH questions, and some of you even use mind mapping. Okay, so let's take a look at your preferences. Okay, sebab kalau saya tanya sekarang nanti dia tak sempat nak analisis kan. So that's why ini pukul 1 tadi lah lebih kurang. I analyze your responses. So 50% of you responded by saying that you prefer narrative writing. 33% of responses said that you prefer review writing, and some of you prefer report writing. Okay, 18%. Meanwhile, for planning, 50%, 52% actually, around 300 responses rasanya tadi ya. So 52% said that you didn't plan at all. 25% said you used WH questions, and 23% said that you use mind mapping. Okay, there's no right or wrong. You may prefer to write narrative. You can choose review report, review writing, or report writing. So question, I'm going to read your name, Heng Wei Kuan. Okay, genre of essay we frequently ask in part 3, itulah dia, narrative, review, report, and also tadi saya sebut article, review, report, or story. Itu 4. Okay, and from the 4, there will be 3 questions. Dekat part 3 ada 3 soalan untuk dipilih. 3 questions to be chosen. You have to write only 1. Okay. It is fine because some of you say that you don't plan at all. Maybe you are expert already. Actually, even though you said that you don't plan, actually we did a plan, or we did a planning before writing, even though at the very minimum scale. Okay, ada minimum scale lah. Okay, ini kita sikit saja kita plan. Who is the character, what we are going to do next, and so on. So itulah planning, even though minimum, at the very minimum level. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. So for our first activity today, okay, what I want you to do is to write 5 sentences describing the picture. I want to see how you write. Write 5 sentences describing the picture. Take a look at this picture, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. 5 sentences describing the picture. You may use the following questions to help you. You may write in the chat box. For those who are watching this using live streaming, you may respond in the Telegram. 5 sentences describing the picture. You can see a boy there. You can see eyes, eyeballs here and there, the backs, video game. You write 5 sentences, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Plan a bit what you want to write. 5 sentences, or if you want to write 3 sentences, it's fine. Okay, what can you see in the picture? What can you say about the eyeballs? Why? And then do you think that this image represents the current situation, and why? This is just an activity. It's not a story or article. I just want you to write 5 sentences. You may make it as ordinary sentences, or you want to make it as a story. As long as it is 3 to 5 sentences, fine. Okay. Can see the boy, okay, Pavitran, the boy always involved in gaming. Good. There are several eyeballs watching him. The guy's lost in gaming. Okay. Ada lagi? Anybody want to respond to this question? His backpack is just beside him, but he ignores it. Okay, good. Okay, we have Sharvatha Menon. Every day after school, I immediately throw my bag to the sofa and pick up the controller, only to be lost into the world of gaming. That's a wonderful sentence. Okay. He's so into it, he didn't even realize the eyeballs. Okay, maybe the eyeball symbolizes something. The guy focused on playing the game. Okay. The boy is concentrating in playing games more than studying. I think the eyeballs are showing hackers. Maybe. Okay, it can be hackers. People are watching him without realizing while he is playing, somebody is trying to hack him. A boy with a green shirt is focused on his game and is ignoring the eyeballs staring at him. A boy is playing a video game. There are eyeballs around boys. The eyeball looks so frightening. The atmosphere is so surreal. He's so into playing game and not observing there are many eyeballs watching him. Good, good, good.
It's the one we also have responses from the
okay.
Telegram box.
Oh.
Yeah,
Shafika.
Shafika.
Shafika, okay. Shafika, there are lots of eyeballs. The eyeballs are watching the boy. The boy is playing game. The boy is sitting on his bed. His bag is also on his right. His bed right beside him. Good. Okay. One more. Maggie busuk. Macam mana Maggie ni boleh jadi busuk Okay, so the picture shows a boy.
That's why I wanted it too.
Maybe dia masak ni banyak sangat Maggie. The picture shows a boy gaming or playing game with eyeballs watching him. This may resemble today's world where people are too absorbed in their virtual life. Beside the eyeballs symbolize the lack of privacy in today's world, especially with the existence of social media. Good. So actually there are a lot of good sentences here. I read one more. Emma Anthony. I see a boy playing video game. It seems like it is a part of his profession since there are many eyes on him. That's a good perspective, right? So maybe he is a gamer who has been paid to play games. So these people are watching him to see whether he can pass every level. Maybe, yeah. He is being watched by many people throughout the world. His common activity during the pandemic. Yes. Okay. And he's gaming for money or is a YouTuber. So yeah. There are many ways that we can interpret from one picture. So this is actually one good way for you to practice writing as well as to practice speaking. Okay, you may find a partner because you know you're going to enter the speaking test with a partner. So you may talk with him. Just find a random picture and then start talking about it to practice. There's no right or wrong answer. Remember, when we try to practice, there's no right or wrong answer. I shouldn't say that eyeball is people watching. I didn't say wrong. Okay, so I accept each and every responses as correct. Okay, so good. So kita dah start jauh ni. Okay, so let's focus on extended writing. Awal tadi kita dah cerita pasal story. So today, we're going to focus on part 3, extended writing, and we are going to look at writing a narrative. Okay, one thing that we have to focus is that you are advised to write around 200 to 250 words. Okay, because the idea is that to see how good each candidate can make use of the language. So, macam mana calon boleh menulis, okay, dalam 200 ke 250 perkataan. Okay, so in extended writing, okay, thank you for your responses. I appreciate each and every responses. Okay, I lost Squid Game, Maggie Busu, Sharbatha Menon, siapa lagi? Emma Anthony tadi, Pavitran, Siti Aisyah. Okay, good. Chong Li Hua, and everyone who has responded, including in the Telegram. Okay, in the Telegram, saya nampak ada Iman, Putri, Roasted Bacon, okay, Shafika. Okay, good. Another good question, which is, can we write more than 250 words? Okay. I shouldn't say you can. Okay, if you can write, yes, you can. But whether you have enough time to respond to all 3 questions, if you exceed each and every question. Contohnya 80 perkataan, question pertama, you want to write 150. Yes, you can write 150 words. However, do you have enough time to respond to question 1, question 2, and question 3? Yang itu kita kena planning. So that's why today we are going to look at how to write a narrative around 250 words. You may follow the technique, and if you want to write more, make sure you practice not only writing a story, but writing all 3 questions within the stipulated time or within the time frame given. Iaitu kena practice. Okay, you can, sebab semua orang ada kelebihan yang berbeza-beza. You may write 100, you can write 250 words or more than 250 words compared to others, but do you have enough time to respond to all 3 questions? Iaitu kena ingat sebagai calon. Okay. So for extended writing, what are we going to write? It's all about maybe ideas, plan, arrangement, or a narrative or a story. So the possible format are report, review, narrative, and article. Okay. Okay. So how the question is presented, there will be a question and a stimulus. The difference between the stimulus that I mean here is that the question function as a stimulus. So in the question, there are certain things that we have to focus on to guide us and for us to understand the question, so that we are on the right track every time we answer the question. Okay, so the stimulus is there embedded in the question. Okay, bantuan-bantuan ni wujud dalam soalan itu sendiri. So you have to read the question carefully, so that when you read, you know what are you going to write. And how to tackle the question, planning, whether you plan 1 or 2 minutes or you need 3 to 5 minutes of planning, it depends on candidate, but don't take too much time to plan. And then you may utilize WH question, the what, who, where, when, why, and how when planning your question or your essay. And finally, organize your essay. Okay, organize meaning here is that we prioritize what to be explained, what incident to be included, what points need to be put at the first paragraph, second paragraph, and so on. Okay, so yeah, I respect if you say that you don't plan, you just go, it's fine. Everybody has different way of writing. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, even though you feel that you don't plan, you're actually doing the planning inside your head, okay, inside your mind. Okay, because we don't suddenly we don't simply write a character, develop the character, the conflict, and so on without planning. Mesti ada plan, even though as simple as just 1 line planning. Okay. Okay. So ada yang guna WH question, ada yang guna mind mapping, and so on. So feel free to plan, okay, using your own style. Okay, jangan banyak masa lukis gambar ikan, tulang ikan pula dalam exam. So nanti tak cukup masa. Okay. So and organize. Make sure you organize your essay. So today, we are going to focus on narrative and how to write narrative within 250 words to 200 something lah, lebih kurang sikit je. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, feel free to follow these tips and techniques. And if you want to improvise, you want to suit your own capability, your own advancement ke apa ke, boleh. But this is how I plan my narrative. so that it has a beginning, a middle, and the end of a story. Okay. So, since some of you don't plan, just go write on your own and so on. So there are slight difference between a novel and also a short story or a narrative. So maybe you can write in the chat box or in the Telegram. Okay, I will go through the Telegram as well. Okay, what is the simple ataupun a very basic difference between a novel and a short story? Okay, or a narrative or a story that you are going to write. Novel is long, good. Okay. Okay. Feel free to just show. Short story is short, good. Novel is long, short story is short but detailed. Okay. Lagi. Ada tak yang dekat ni? Di Telegram boleh respond, no problem. Short story is a sort of a novel light. Okay. Novel is long with complicated plot. Novels are normally more interesting and sell like hotcakes. Yeah, if it's good, then it can you can sell like hotcakes, or else it will be there in the bookshop forever. Novel is detailed, short story are complicated. Novel describe every move, while short story describe the more important events. To Syarbatani, dia dah hampir tu. Okay, short story goes straight to the point. Straight to the point. Novel is more descriptive, but short story is more straightforward. But overall, both are good and intriguing. Novel have many episodes. Okay, I'm waiting for someone to respond in the chat box. Okay. Stories vivid. Novel can be imagination solely.
Three people are writing, typing.
Yeah.
In the Telegram right now.
With writing.
Very eager. Okay.
Kita tunggu dia hantar jawapan. Okay. A novel has many chapters. Good. So you know the differences. Okay. Iman dia tak send pun jawapan dia. Okay. Iman Nafisa on Telegram. Short story is a relaxing plot. Novel have many details. Okay, so novel have long storyline. Okay, Linda N. Novel has many characters. Short story focus on one main character. Okay, so you have novel has a lot of chapters. Short story simple and direct. So you have a lot of perspective on what is novel and what is short story. So for me, novel is a journey. Meanwhile, a short story is like a specific event in that particular journey. So, contohnya macam you nak pergi ke KL from Taiping to Kuala Lumpur. The novel is about the journey from Taiping to Kuala Lumpur. You go from one place, you stop at which RNR and so on and so forth until you arrive at Kuala Lumpur. However, a story or short story, you just take one incident in that journey from Taiping to Kuala Lumpur and you write a specific story about a specific event, make it as a story. Short story, my car crashed while I was driving to KL, for example. Macam tu, pandai, good. Okay, just take specific event, or you bump into your old friend while on a journey from Taiping to Kuala Lumpur, for example. So you know that you are traveling from Taiping to Kuala Lumpur, but you just take a specific event in that journey. Okay. So thank you for your responses. So let's go to types of story that you're going to write. Okay, type of story that you're going to write, or narrative that we are going to write or answer as in SPM. So there are 4 types of stories that you may write, you can write. Okay, the first one is a journey type atau perjalanan. So you start from the character enters at the beginning, and then at the end of the story, the character exit, or the journey ends. Okay, macam tadi lah, Kuala Lumpur to Taiping to Kuala Lumpur, for example. Next, inquiry story. This usually like a mystery story. It requires readers to think together with the characters. If you like reading Sherlock Holmes ke, atau you like comic like Detective Conan ke, Hajime Kindaichi ke, anything. So it makes people to think while reading. Okay, Agatha Christie's punya novel ke, and so on. So it makes people think while reading. Next story that you may write is a character-driven story. So focus on the changes of character from bad to good, fail to success, and so on. So character-driven story. Or you may write an event-driven story. Okay, focus on the event and then we develop from that. Okay, whether what happened, what make it stop, and so on. Okay, so in SPM, I suggest that we focus on number 3 and number 4, which is a character-driven and also event-driven, if you prefer writing a narrative. Okay, so if you are writing narrative, so my suggestion is that we focus on character-driven and also event-driven. Okay, because sometimes in the question, dia akan bagi tahu, dia tak bagi tahu lah directly. It will tell you indirectly whether it is a character-driven story or an event-driven story. Okay. So let's take a look at sample of question dalam booklet SPM. Okay. So your teacher has asked you to write a story for a school magazine. The story must have a title, A Dream Comes True. Your story should include a description of the dream and how the dream is achieved. Okay, write your story. Okay, so your story should include description of the dream and how the dream is achieved. If we refer to this just now, so which one do you think this story falls into? Character-driven or event-driven?
Can be both.
Can be both, good. Okay, can be both. It can be a character-driven. It can be a event-driven. Okay. So, however, if we look at this question, it's more like an event-driven because our focus is more on the dream itself. Okay. And as I mentioned just now, the question has its own stimulus, or the question has its own requirement for you to answer. Let's take a look at this question. And if we read the title sampai situ saja, the story must have the title, A Dream Comes True. Can we write about a dream in our sleep? Okay. Kita tentang mimpi. Bukan impian, tapi mimpi. Mimpi masa tidur tu. Can we write about a dream in our sleep?
Can, teacher.
Can. Okay, some say can, some say cannot. Okay. No, but yes. Macam mana tu? Weird dream, then I don't think so. If it's a weird dream, then I don't think so. No. Okay. Okay. No. Ada tak respon dekat Telegram sikit?
Wan, yeah, Mr. Wan. Okay, yeah, we have some questions.
Okay, so there's one response saying that
it's not really a question,
yes,
but
yes.
I think if you would like to,
we are talking about
something.
differences between writing these two things. Okay, just to make students understand the differences between the two. Okay, so that's, thank you for your responses. Okay, so dream don't come true, but deja vu would. Okay, so if we look at this question, kita ada 2 bullets kat sini. There are 2 bullets over here. The first one is a description of the dream. You may be able to write about the dream in your sleep because you can describe the dream. You can talk about you saw a ghost being chased by a tiger and suddenly you wake up. However, the second bullet kills everything. How the dream is achieved? By sleeping. Okay, so the second bullet makes you cannot write it as a dream. If you talk about that kind of dream lah, okay, unless you are talking about the dream of being an engineer, so you dream something in your sleep and then you work for it, itu lain, okay. But you're talking about a weird dream, being chased by tiger and so on, and suddenly you wake up, so the bullet number 2 kills everything, okay, means that you cannot write how dream is achieved, okay. So good, I won the lottery and bought a ticket to Belgium. So that is a dream. For example, kan, you mimpi, you won a lottery, So you work for that dream. So that kind of dream can be accepted. Okay. However, don't write the whole story as a dream. Faham ya? Ada beza eh? A dream maknanya you mimpikan sesuatu and then you work for it. That's different. However, if you write it as a dream from start, you buat cerita tu, it's very good story, and then at the end, you end the story by writing, suddenly I heard my mom wakes me up and my dreams end there. So that is a big no in exam. Jangan buat terbangun dari tidur. So that's a big no. Okay, when writing. Okay. Okay, thank you for responses in the okay. Thank you for your responses.
Yes, all the responses in Telegram chat is no.
Good. Okay, so next, let's take a look. Okay, so ni contoh question For example, in the question in the SPM booklet, okay, so the focus is a dream. So we have to talk about the dream. You can make it as an event driven, or you focus on the character driven story. Okay. So let's start writing a story terus Kita tak ada tunggu-tunggu dah hari ni. So we have another hour to go. Let's start introducing your story. There are many ways that we can introduce our story. Some people say that we have to use this hook sentences and so on. So there are many terms that you can use when you want to start writing your story or your narrative. However, since we do not have a lot of words that we can write, okay, so ini carangan saya lah when you want to introduce your story. Okay, so write in 3 sentences saja. Okay, try to write in 3 sentences, not a short one, but a complex or compound sentences. The who, the character, describe the action, or describe the attitude. Contohlah kita ambil soalan tadi a dream comes true. So I want to write about a boy or a school athlete who successfully wins a race. Okay. School athlete who successfully wins a race. Okay, nampak macam cliche, but the thing is that I just want to show you how we can develop from this idea and then make it a 250 something words essay. Okay, school athlete. So this is what we are going to do today. A school athlete who successfully wins a race. Okay, so we begin with a character, the where, the location, the genre, whether this is a fiction or non-fiction. Okay, he was arrested for doping. Okay, so that's good. Okay, that's a dope. Okay, character, location, and fiction or non-fiction. Okay, this is my sample of how we can write introduction of a narrative or a story using 3 sentences. Okay, so first, who, the character that we are going to introduce. He is a school athlete. Okay, I am Speed. Macam mana dengar tajuk ni? I'm Speed. I'm Rain. Okay, school athlete, enthusiastic athlete. Okay. Next, where? Location. At the starting position or starting point. Ready to start. So we are going to describe this. And then finally, we have the third one is genre, whether this fiction or non-fiction. And we use senses to describe the setting. So the first sentence, describe the character, a school athlete who is enthusiastic to start the race. The second sentence, we describe the situation at the starting block. Nak mula lari ni. So what the character is feeling at that time. Okay, and who is going to use the shooting the gun. Okay, starting gun tu. And then the third sentence, use sentences to describe the setting. Only 3 sentences. If you may try in the chat box. Okay. First sentence, just describe the character who is ready to run. Second sentence, describe the starting position, ready to start. And the third sentence, describe the setting in the stadium. Okay, I will go through the sentences in the Telegram as well. Okay, jangan risau. Okay, saya akan tengok kedua-dua tempat. Okay. Nanti ada yang kecil hati pula kata saya tak tengok kat Telegram. Saya tengok kat Telegram. Jangan risau. Okay, so while waiting for your responses, okay, tengok, this is my suggestion of how we can introduce our story. Okay, so sentence 1. On the running track, I crouch waiting for the gun to boom while my heart can't stop pounding. So this describe the feeling of the character, the athlete. Okay, sentence 1. Second sentence, we're talking about the location. Immediately, okay, I launch myself forward when I heard the sound. So the sound describing the sound of the gun just now that we mentioned. Okay. And then in sentence 3, okay, we use senses to describe the setting. The screams from supporters push me to go faster, approaching the finishing lines. Okay. So let's take a look. These are my 3 sentences. Okay. On the running track, I crouch my... Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you may use the third point of view if you want to. Okay. However, when you are using third point of view and you are giving the character, you try to name the character. Okay. On the running track, for example, Kim Jong-luk crouched waiting for the gun to boom while his heart cannot stop pounding. Bang! He immediately launched himself forward when he heard the sound. Sama saja. Okay, they just change the point of view, POV, and third point of view. Okay, the scream from supporters pushed him to go faster, approaching the finishing line. Same thing. Maybe you can try. Kalau boleh tengok ke sini, okay. So the one that I highlighted in red is actually describe the athlete or the character, as I mentioned just now, first sentence. So his heart cannot stop pounding. And then in the second sentence, I include an onomatopoeia or a sound in words. Okay, bang. Okay, and we maybe you want to use other dialogue, one-line dialogue, on your mark, get set, and so on. Okay, so make use of a punching line macam ni saja. Okay, instead of using a lengthy dialogue in the story. Okay. I immediately launched myself forward when I heard the sound. Okay, so that is what you do, describing the action at the starting point or starting block. And finally, we describe the senses. Oh, sorry, yeah, my heart couldn't. Okay, thank you for the response. Okay, the scream from supporters pushed me to go faster, approaching the finishing line. Okay, so make use of the senses when you want to write the third sentence. Okay, so maybe you can try in the chat box or in the Telegram. Okay, the first sentence describe the character. Second sentence describe the okay. The second sentence describe the location. Make use of sensory details and the genre, or describe the situation, the setting. Okay, so now it's your turn to write the 3 sentences when you want to introduce your story. You may write about other things, no problem. Okay, just a suggestion that you write about the athlete. You may write about other characters or other storyline. Feel free to show your ability to write the 3 sentences? As mentioned earlier, this is a guide, so not compulsory for you to follow each and every steps too. Maybe you want to change instead of where to, you want to change to something else, the event and so on, feel free to do so, as long as try to attract the reader as early as in the first paragraph. Okay. Okay, so we have one. Okay. Sharbata Menon was the school's best debater. She has always dreamt of winning the Rotarian Cup, which is the most prestigious award possible to a debating team. Good. Okay, we want to introduce. Okay, name subject to change. Maggie Curry. Okay, Maggie Tom Yum lah saya ambil. Maggie Curry places his hands on the starting line, his heart pounding, blood filled with adrenaline as he anticipates the shot. The crowd is excited. They can't wait for this to begin. The umpire pulls the trigger and Maggie Curry lah, kita appreciate lah dia respon. Maggie Curry lifts his feet from the ground and sprints ahead, his eyes fixed on the finishing line. Yes. Okay. So in many ways that you can interpret the situation. Okay. And when we read that, we know that something is going to happen. Okay. Something is going to happen. So introduce the story, use who, where, and also the setting, okay, the genre, whether this is a fiction or a non-fiction story. Okay, tak apalah Saravanan, Maggie, it's okay lah. Okay, kita bagi peluang kat dia. Okay, let's take a look. Telegram, tak ada Okay, so this is how we can introduce your story, just by using three sentences. Okay, 3 sentences. Anybody else want to send your response? Saya tak. Tak ada, tak apa. Okay. Next. Once you have introduced your story, there I was. Okay, thank you. Sarvata Menon, tadi just now your name has been mentioned. So ini, tengok how she's going to write. There I was crouching at the starting line, waiting for the gun to go off. My heart was pounding so fast. It was as if it wanted to escape out of my body. Bang! I launched myself forward and ran as fast as my feet could take me. Malaysia boleh, those words were carved in my heart and soul. Yeah, there are many ways that we can begin the story. Okay. So the idea is just, kalau kita tengok kat sini, if we read until this part, we do not know what will happen next. So next, in the second paragraph, we bring in the conflict. Okay, what is the character trying to do, and what is stopping the character? Okay, so you can, for example, okay, so in the second paragraph, kita dah mula berlari, and then we bring in the conflict while running. What is your character trying to do, and what is stopping the character? Okay, for example, the character is trying to finish the race as a winner. However, this effort is stopped by an elbow. By an elbow, meaning somebody elbowed him while running, or elbowed her while running. So that stopped her or him from completing the race. Okay. So let's take a look. Ada tak respon? Okay.
Yeah, some answers.
Okay, there's one response in the Telegram. Saya copy and then saya letak dekat chat box so you can see. Okay. Dia ada dia punya ni apa? Locked up. Okay. My heart beated more than the cheers of the
There are 2 responses.
Okay. The other one is butterfly in the stomach. Okay, adalah Satu Ismaili Banan, satu lagi kita ada from Alana. Rasanya kot Alana ke Diana? Diana kot. Okay.
Diana, I think. Diana.
Diana. Okay, so you can see, bang, I accelerated myself to work with full strength. My friends started to scream my name with huge claps. Good. Then we have Darling. Escape. Okay, escape out. Escape tadi. Okay, escape my body. Escape out. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, next, I had butterflies in stomach while waiting for the horn sound. I also had mixed feeling whether I could make my parents proud or not. As I heard the horn sound, I began to run as fast as lightning, and my friends and parents supported me to give mental support. Okay, so the combination of telling and also showing sentences. Okay, apa yang bahaya tu? The bahaya is Maggie ke apa? Okay, okay, so let's take a look. Diana, thank you Diana, sorry Okay, so ini contoh. Next is we talk about the we bring in the conflict. Okay, so conflict yang saya bawa, or I bring in the conflict that I brought in is, okay, I put in sentence like this: I've been training for this event and this is supposed to be my day, or this was supposed to be my day. Okay, and then stop, itu dia punya trying to do, character trying to do what? Okay, so next, however, the person who were running on the next lane elbowed me and I fell violently to the ground, injuring myself, thus killing my dream. So we have two sentences. The first sentence tell about what you are trying to do, and the second sentence, what stopped you from achieving that particular dream. Okay, so it's going to be like this. I've been training for this event and this was supposed to be my day. However, the person who were running the next lane elbowed me and I fell violently on the ground, injuring myself, thus killing my dream. So only two sentences, but we are already bringing in the conflict, which is you were not able to finish the race as a winner. Ingat tadi, our aim is to win the race, but the conflict is that you were not able to complete the race as a winner. Okay. So maybe you can try from your introduction just now. You have written good introduction. So now let's bring in the conflict. Maybe my conflict, you feel like you want to do something else. While running, you trip, or while running, you in the first sentence you mentioned about your aim, which is to complete the run as a winner, to break the record, and then the second sentence you write what stopped you from completing your dream or your aim. Okay, maybe kasut tercabut, you punya spike tertanggal, and so on. So first to the second, the two sentences that you can write to bring in the conflict. Okay, the first. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, so what is the character trying to do? What is stopping the character? Okay, what is this? What is stopping the character? Okay, what is your character trying to do, and what is stopping the character? Okay, I stopped running when I saw one of the participants fell down. Okay, so ini macam second sentence dia. What is stopping the character? Okay. I trained, okay, we have Sharvatha Menon. I trained for this moment of my life. Ever since I could remember, just when I was confident that I was going to win, in came an elbow from the lane next to me, hurting my ribs. I fell, it's over, I said to myself. Okay, okay, so we bring in the conflict at this time. Okay, in this paragraph. Okay, it is over. Yeah. Okay. So now, what is your character trying to do? What is stopping the character? Okay. You may improvise later on your structure of story. Okay, but this is a simple way that we can use when you want to write a short story. Okay. While running, there was a banana peel in front of the character. Thus, he slipped and fell to the ground, spraining his ankle. He groaned in despair, knowing that his dream was destroyed. Okay, so ini memang unik lah because suddenly there's a banana peel. But fine, okay. It might be while the next person was running, he was eating a banana ke, and then he throw the banana, okay, peel, and then that's how you can you fail to complete your race. Okay, so there are many possibilities, but try to bring in the conflict at this time. Okay. It's okay. Imagination is terrible. It's okay. Maybe for this story is terrible. Maybe you can try for other type of story that you can make use of your wonderful imagination. Okay. Ada in Telegram? Okay, belum lagi. Okay, it's okay. Accidentally entered. Okay, it's okay. I was waiting for the continuation of that. Itu apa? Okay. Yeah, sprint with all my might. I felt that my strength that was surging in was running out. All I could think of was the feeling to get to the finish line, the finishing line first. However, things don't always go to plan, and I accidentally tripped over the track and fell. So yeah, this might be your conflict. It might not involve somebody else, but it's just something that stopped you from completing the race or the dream and so on. Okay, good responses. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so you are able to bring in the conflict now. Okay. I had been training to achieve my trophy, Muralidharan. Okay, tirelessly every day. The moment I was near to making my dream comes true, a thing took a turn and my ankle sprained. Okay, certain errors here and there, but fine. Okay, we are trying. Okay, I'm not going to look thoroughly at your grammar and so on. Your teacher can improve on that. Okay, was running at full speed when suddenly, okay, someone threw a Coca-Cola bottle at his head. He really fell to the ground and saw stars above his head because he felt so dizzy. So yeah, dia macam cartoonish sikit, but still okay. Okay, a little bit cartoonish there, but still fine lah. Okay, because don't know why somebody is running and then somebody wants to throw the Coca-Cola bottle on your head. Okay. Okay. Now we have brought in the conflict. What we are going to write next is action and consequences. Okay, so every action in the story, baru masuk Maggie punya sentences. Maggie punya sentences. Everything was going well for Maggie Kari. He was leaving the rest behind a mile. I'm almost there, he thought himself. This wouldn't last long as he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his calf. His muscle had cramped. Not now, please, he thought. Okay, not now, please, he thought. So yeah, we're running and then you nak cramp ni. Suddenly suddenly cramp. Okay, in the middle of your race. Okay, good.
Mr. Wan, there is one
in the
response in the...
Okay, Saragunan, all the hard work. Okay, saya ambil copy. You can see here as well. We have all the hard work I've put into winning this race made me my pace faster than Usain Bolt. Wow. Okay, the running cheetah. Suddenly, I had heard a pop in my knees with enormous pain. Ouch. Okay. Next, we have Nur Iman. There was no one there. He began panic stricken. Suddenly, he heard the heavy footstep coming closer to him. He started. Okay. Ini macam cerita seram je. He started, blood drained from his face and hair rising without any delay. He ran as fast as he could when the rain is pitter-patter. Okay, so ini macam cerita seram je, but fine. Okay. Okay, so next. Okay. Okay, once we have included the conflict just now, okay, we brought in the conflict, and then we have to we have to write, okay, include action and also consequences. Okay, example, we every action has consequences. character make progress towards the goal but push back from it. Okay, so in this paragraph we just mentioned about he's trying to go further, but something still stop him from winning or from achieving the dream. Okay, so maybe we can write about we continued training, and then we describe how he completed the training session, and then what are the responses from other people, and then we make the character remember an incident that has the same consequences or effect. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think we need the class to focus on them. Yeah. So, for example, sentence 1, even though I was still recovering, I continued training with my coach. Okay, with my coach. I continued training with my coach. So the first sentence talk about, yeah, I continued training. Next. So describe the training sessions. Okay, I tied my legs with unused tires while running, hoping that this will strengthen my muscle. Remember just now, because he was elbowed by somebody, because he was elbowed by somebody. So he was hoping that this training session will strengthen his muscles. Okay. Thank you, teacher. Yeah. So next, in the next sentence, we can write what are other people's responses towards his training session, for example. Okay. Some people came to me and laughed at my injuries while others were still supporting half-heartedly. Okay. Supporting half-heartedly. And then the last sentence, maybe the fourth and fifth sentence, we make the character remember an incident that has the same consequences and effect. Okay, whatever happened to me, I will not put an end to my dream again. My mother had fought cancer until her last breath, and that has taught me to never stop trying. Okay, so maybe this way we can just make or play with the emotions over here. Okay, we want the character to win. So what push him forward to keep on training. Okay. So for example, it's like this. Okay, even though I was still recovering, I continued training with my coach. Yeah, I tied my legs with unused tires for running. So the first sentence talking about the training that he continued. Okay, and then describe the training session. I tied my leg with unused tires for running, hoping that this will strengthen my muscles. Some people came to me and laughed at my injuries. This is the perception of others towards him. And then the final two sentences, we describe an incident that has the same effects and consequences. Okay. Okay. Maybe you can try right now, your turn, okay, just to write a few sentences describing the action and also the consequences, the action and consequences. Okay. So you can see here, I had to spend a week in hospital bed due to my injuries. Despite the catastrophe, I have made a vow to continue training a high spirit and never let down my mentor. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so showing that you have what you do to keep achieving your dream. Okay, to keep achieving your dream. Okay, is there any responses? Other responses? Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you, teacher. Okay, the next place I woke up was in hospital. It took me about a few months to recover from my injuries a bit. I continued my training with the never give up support from my parents. Yeah. Okay. Next, we have in the Telegram, we have this one. The account holder is Tamil. Okay, Tamil. Mana tadi? This was a moment I was waiting all this time. From nowhere, an elbow from the next that hit me. I fell down, hurt myself badly. I saw others running towards the finishing line. My dream shattered into a million pieces. Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Iman Nafisa from Telegram. Even though my ankle is still recovering, I kept on going with my training because this is my dream. And it's my chance to achieve, no, archive. Okay. Different thing. Achieve my goal. Some of my friends are still worried about my condition, but it doesn't matter because I don't want the same accident happen to me again where I just give up on my dream. Okay, good. And then we have Lo Yisheng. During my recovery, I saw a poem online with the following word: never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. This remind me of what I was aiming for, a spirit to keep me going, which is my own dream. Okay. Yeah. Okay, nice try. You can see that all of you are trying to use the sentences, good vocabulary, and so on. Okay. Then he looked at his coach. He wouldn't let his work for the past year to go to waste. The medics were rushing to the track, but Mekari wouldn't give up. There's still time, he repeated as he got up and continued. Okay, boleh je. Okay. So your idea is that you still in the run. In the race. Okay. However, for my story, what I made is what I have created is that the dream has ended, so he put effort after the race. Okay. Some of you write as if the race is still going on. Fine, no problem. Okay. Okay. It depends on how you want to create the story, write the story. Sharbata Menon, my ribs hurt really bad. The doctor said I had to be bedridden for weeks. I thought my sprinting career was over until my coach came in to pay me a visit. He reassured me and gave me motivation to keep moving forward. I agreed I shouldn't let some injuries stop me from achieving my dream. Weeks later, I trained days and nights for the next big tournament. I kept reminding myself about my father who worked hard for me to get to where I am today, was doing this for him. I can't give up now. Yeah. Okay. So include some emotion. When I say that, remember an incident that has some consequences and effect. Try to play with emotions a little bit. Okay. And one more. The Marcus Bennett. I tried to get back up but to no avail. I couldn't. I felt like shrieking with all my might now. I knew it was all over, years of training just to lose for an accidental mistake. Okay, mistake like this. However, there was no point of crying over spilled milk. I turned around and saw that the other athlete was still far back. I can't do this. I shouted. I tried to stand up. Okay, so what I can see that some of you write the story as if the race hasn't ended yet. Okay, so good. A different perspective. Remember that there's during this session, I don't want to highlight whether this perspective is right or wrong, because you have your own perspective when you want to write your story. Okay. Perspektif masing-masing berbeza. Okay. Macam saya, when I write this story, it's like the dream has ended, so you need to work hard to achieve the dream later. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, good. After we have included the conflict, we have included the actions and consequences. Next, we try to resolve the conflict. Okay, we try to resolve the conflict. Your character is reaching his or her own goal, and effects can now be seen. Okay, for example, okay, character found something, image, map, plan, etc., and go through it, and follow it, and told someone about it. Okay, so this is how I organize the story. Okay, so I just make it as if the character found something that can help him to train better. For example, go through the plan, go through the map, go through the picture, follow the guide, the new guideline, and told someone, maybe tell the coach, tell the parents, and so on. Okay. For example, okay, how do we resolve the conflict? So the conflict just now, somebody elbowed you on the right, on the racetrack, and you train harder next time. And then we try to resolve the conflict by one day. While tidying up my room, I found a box underneath my bed, and inside it, there was a small wooden box. Okay, so this is what we found. My mom's diary was inside it, and she kept a note of some exercises that she did, or some routines that she did while she was suffering from her cancer. Remember just now, earlier, kita cerita tentang the mother suffered from cancer but fought back, okay, even though she passed away, okay, but the effort to keep on fighting yang kita nak ambil, okay, or the spirit of fighting, the fighting spirit. Okay, suffering from cancer, I brought it to my coach, and he told me that we can try applying some of my mom's routines into my training. Thank you, Mom. You're always my guardian angel. Okay, so in this conflict resolution, I try to make it as if something else add up to the training that the athlete is, the character is currently doing. Okay, and then try to relate with the mother just now, because we mentioned earlier that the mother passed away due to cancer. We relate with the fighting spirits, okay, and then we try to make it as if that is how this conflict is resolved. Okay. So now it's your turn. Try to write using this guide template. Okay, your character is reaching the goal, the new goal. Okay, and the effects can now be seen after this, maybe the inclusion of new routines and so on. Okay. Okay, so maybe some of you still writing the responses before we move to the final paragraph or the last part of the story. Okay, so let's take a look. 4 years later, the character qualifies for his next supporting competition or next competition. If thought of everyone and everything that brought him here, his parent. Okay, he ran his best and managed to win without an obstacle. Everybody was really proud of him. Okay, so yeah. Uh, when I left from the competition after stopping my run and helped the injured participant, okay, I was surprised by my trainer. He told me a good news. I got an award for my kind attitude with the other participant. I also got reward for that by the authorities. After a few months, I got a meeting with Prime Minister. Okay, so yeah, okay, so maybe this is how you want to craft your essay. Fine, okay, left the competition. So the idea is that your idea is that your kind gesture is being appreciated even though you didn't win the competition. Okay, but this is actually if you are talking or if you are writing about this dream come true, so maybe this event is not that appropriate. Okay, because you're talking about the dream. So ini macam dah lari daripada the dream just now. Okay, unless you want to write about talking about a kindful gesture, being rewarded and so on. Okay, however, the sentences are good. Okay, the idea is there. Good. Okay. Okay, and then the ending. When we are ending the essay or ending the. Okay, so last one. 5 years later, there I was again in the stadium, filled with anxious spectators as I waited for the trigger. I was scared. Can I do this? What if? Okay, this is for you, Dad. Yeah. Okay. Next, I lunge my knees forward, ready to get back up to run again with a little nonsensical calculation and timing. I guess that's the I guess that the athletes will reach my position in approximately 2 more seconds. I gave it my all and I had to go now or never. I pushed my leg to go around again and managed to get back up again. I sprinted as if my legs were never hurt and the athletes were closing in the finishing line. Okay. Okay, me carrying with newfound spirit was off again. The pain was getting sharper, but that wouldn't stop him. He just kept going, putting one foot in front of the other. Okay, describing how he runs. It just as all hope seemed lost, he decided to take risks and leapt for the finishing line. The race was over, and Makery landed on the track and looked to the sky, letting out a scream of relief. He had won. Okay, so if just now, actually for the resolving the conflict, I try not to include the new race or the final race yet. Okay, because I will include that in the last paragraph or the last part of your story, which is the ending. Okay, so the ending mirror the opening sentences. Okay, good. Some of you have already write as if it is at the okay. mirroring the opening sentences. Okay, mirroring the opening sentences. Our story will have a beginning, a middle, and the end. Okay, as I mentioned just now, this is just the guide. Okay, so just now when we introduced the essay, so we talked about the heart couldn't stop pounding, bang, launch myself forward, the scream from supporters push me, and so on. So this is how we should end the story. Okay, this is how I can I end my narrative or my story. Okay, so on the left side is the opening just now, or on the introduction paragraph or introductory part, and then for the ending, I just mirror the introductory paragraph so that we know this is what happened. This is what happened at the end. Okay. Now I'm back on the track, well prepared. On your mark, just now I used bang straight away, but now I include a short dialogue. Okay. On your mark, get set, starting gun, boom, and I started pushing myself forward. Okay. I didn't use the same launch myself forward. Okay, just change a little bit so that it's not like I am repeating the same sentences, just repeating the same idea, but not repeating the same exact sentences. I started pushing myself forward, and then this time around, I made it to the finishing line. The scars are still, sorry, I did repeated still. The scars are still visible, but on another hand, a medal. So habis kita. You see that you can interpret that finally this athlete got a medal. Okay. So this is what I meant just now by mirroring the introductory paragraph. Okay, because in the introduction just now we just explained that something is about to happen, and then in the second in the following paragraph how the dream shattered. But now in the ending we just write that the person is able to complete the race and win a medal. Okay, so if you are able, okay, so right now let's try to mirror your introductory paragraph. Okay, just now you have, if you can scroll back to your original introductory paragraph, maybe you can mirror that, make use of that introductory paragraph and write the ending. But this time in the ending, write the result of all the efforts we have written in the previous paragraphs. Okay, apa kesan terhadap usaha-usaha tadi. Okay, next. Okay. Okay. Okay, we already 4:05. Okay, 4:05 p.m. So kita ada sikit lagi before we end up the session. This is we have one more activity after this. Okay. The ending is actually like you mirror the paragraph, the introductory paragraph, however with an effect or with a result. Okay, the ending mesti ada keputusan whether the dream has come true or the dream that you have been chasing you got the dream, okay, you finally made it, and so on. Okay. Okay, the crowd cheered upon my name as I was nearing the finishing line. Didn't want to look back and only focus upon the red string ahead of me. Yeah. Okay, 2 athletes were closing in my position, but Melody at left drove me to victory. The moment I crossed the finishing line, the crowd cheered. I collapsed with pain aching in my leg. Okay, so because in the earlier part of the story, you talk about you injured and so on. Okay. However, the pain I felt was nothing compared to the victory I achieved, and so I passed out with a smile carved on my face. Good. Okay. Sebab because sometimes student dia tersalah gunakan phrasal verb, pass out, salah, pass away, jadi okay, pass by and so on. Okay. Okay, so I can sleep today with a smile carved on my face because I can see that Perak State's punya candidates are able to write a good and wonderful story. Okay, excellent responses from everyone, including in the Telegram. Okay, one more before we go to the final activity, which is going to be a very short activity. Okay. Sharbatha Menon, the gun was triggered. I sprinted with all my might, aiming for the finish line. There was one thing, okay, because just now talking about Malaysia Boleh, I remembered you wrote about Malaysia Boleh just now. Okay, so I crossed the line, the commenters screamed, and that was a marvelous finish by Malaysia. I did it, everything paid off. Okay, so that is the dream comes true. Okay, good, wonderful. Okay. Okay, Maggie. Maggie. Okay, the crowd went wild. They couldn't believe their eyes. Maggie Curry coach ran to the track and hugged him. Oh, finally we know that Maggie is a boy. Maggie. The pain scarf was overshadowed by tears of joy rolling down cheeks. Alice's dream had come true. Marvelous, good. Okay, Iman Nafisa from Telegram. I'm still not used to the situation, even though I've gone through 2 months ago. As the gun has shot, as the gun boom, okay, I ran all of my might and focus on the track so that I won't make the same mistakes. Okay, there's a simple grammatical error, fine. Until I made it to the finishing line, I realized I actually made it in the first place. Okay, I made it to the first place. I made it in the first place. I was jumping with happiness and got a golden medal. Medal, good. Medal, a gold medal. Got a gold medal. All my friends and parents ran towards me to congratulate me. Congrats ni bahasa chat. To congratulate. Sebab ada to to congratulate me. Okay, good. Okay, thank you for your responses. You can see that you are able to write a good. This is just as I mentioned way earlier. That this is a guide, panduan, when you want to write a narrative around 250 words. Okay. Okay, so this is actually what we have written daripada awal tadi. Okay. I just include this in one page because we have because I've shown each and every paragraph in every slide. Okay, so this. Kalau yang kita tulis daripada awal tadi with some grammatical mistakes here and there, so we are able to write around how many words do you think? Rasa-rasa lah.
250.
Just a wild guess. 250 exact. Okay. So actually the one that I've written here yang kita buat sama-sama tu lebih kurang so we got around 283 words. Okay. So the idea is that the story is being organized in such a way that we can see there is an introductory part or the beginning part, and then the middle part of the story. You can see the conflict and how the conflict is being resolved. And finally, the ending, we showed that all the efforts or all the conflicts and the resolution has made an impact to the character at the end. Okay, so that's the general idea how you can write a simple story within the number of words that we are required to write. Even though it's stated that you have to write about 250 words, but try not to write too much unless you are confident that you can write, for example, more words, but you still are able to write or to respond to the other two questions within the time frame given. Okay, so kita ada 15 more minutes. Do you have any questions? Okay, so let's take a 1 minute break. Okay, maybe you want to just 1 minute break. Okay, just to take a deep breath. You want to go to the loo for a while. Okay, just come back after 1 minute, and then we are going to, if you have any question, and you may fill in the attendance form while waiting for me to continue for the remaining 10 minutes. Ya, lebih kurang kan? Okay, tak ada soalan. Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, okay, kalau tak ada soalan, if you don't have any questions so far, fill in the attendance form. Okay. Okay, before we go to another part, the final part of writing a narrative. Okay. So kita dah cover tadi all the paragraphs. So, and this one that I'm going to share with you is also important when writing narrative, especially when you want to describe an action, when you want to describe biasanya usually you want to replace the verb. Okay, you want to replace the verb, but not every time you want to replace the verb you use this technique. Okay, which is what we call as the show not tell technique. Okay, so let's continue. Sikit lagi. So show not tell technique is where we make use of the nouns and the verbs. Okay, instead of replacing the verb, or instead of just adding idioms and or similes, so we make use of the verb itself. Okay, describing verbs. Okay, descriptive words. Okay, so we make use of the nouns and the verbs with limited adjective and adverb, means that we don't add too much adjectives and adverbs within one sentence. Okay, and then we make use of our senses, okay, the 5 senses that we have, and then limit or reduce the usage of the word I see things, I see, I hear, and so on. But we describe how we see, how we hear, how we think, how we feel, and how we taste something. For example, let's take a look. How can we say that Ellie was happy without using the word happy, without using the word happy, and without using idiom? Biasanya bila saya suruh buat macam ni, student akan tulis Ellie was over the moon. So I don't want you to use idiom. Try to make use of descriptive words to describe how you are happy, or how this character is feeling happy. Okay. Yeah, thank you, teacher, because I get just now when I was reading the sentences, I've corrected verbally. I didn't type in the errors. Okay, thank you for pointing out the errors. Okay, Ellie was feeling delighted and elated. Good. Okay, make use of the descriptive words. Maybe you want to I just want to see how you describe happy, and Okay, so Ellie smiled from ear to ear with a joyful gleam in her eyes. Okay, dia mungkin pirate kot, ada satu mata je. So usually kalau eye to eyes lah, to eyes, because you have a pair of eyes, unless you're an alien from planet Zargus. Okay, Ellie was feeling lighted, elated, a wide smile. It's okay. Biasalah tu, kadang-kadang kita type ni terkurang satu huruf. A wide smile spread across Ellie's face, expressing how pleased she was. Okay, good. And if possible, you can try to write how somebody is excited. You can describe somebody was excited without using the word excited and without using any idiom. Just now happy, right now excited. Because happy ni gembira lah, excited. Because there's a result of something, so you feel excited. Okay. Show, not tell. Okay, you can see Diana. Ellie jumped in excitement. Good. Smile spread across Ellie's face. Lo Su Yuan, Iman Nafisa. Ellie was in good mood. Ellie's vermilion rises. Good. Okay. Okay. For example, a gigantic grin appears on Ellie's face when she saw her best friend Amanda. Amanda got out from the train, so she was happy. So we didn't use the word happy over here. However, we say Ellie's face, a gigantic grin appears on Ellie's face when she saw her best friend Amanda got out from the train. So we provide the setting into the sentence so that people can feel as if people can feel the happiness there. Okay. Excited. Okay. When she saw her dad, she sprinted across the room, jumped into his arms, and buried her face in his chest. So instead of just saying that she was excited seeing her dad, okay, we put some actions into this excitement. So we describe how excited the person was. Okay. Mungkin tadi kalau athlete tu, when she arrived or when she crossed the finishing line, she ran towards her coach and jumped into her arms. Okay. Okay. Jump in joy when she found out she aced her examination. Yeah, good. Okay. So when using a show not tell technique, as I mentioned just now, we try to make use of the vocabulary. Okay. Try to make use of the good vocabulary. Okay, these vocabulary, descriptive words to describe something rather than just including or inserting the idiom. Okay, bukan maksudnya kalau letak idiom salah, tak. Okay, however, when as I mentioned, when you want to put more emotions to the action, we make use of the word itself, the noun, the verb, the adjective, and the adverbs. Okay, and when writing using show not tell technique, try to make use of these three components lah. Saya gunakan. So, for example, we want to say that somebody is scared. He was scared. So, if you look at this image, how can you describe the face of a person who is scared? And we can also describe the movement of the body, okay, of someone who is scared. And we can also describe the voice of someone who is scared. Imagine that you are being chased by a fierce dog. Okay. Or maybe if you look at this image, imagine that you are being chased by a scary, shadowy figure. Okay. Your shadow doesn't work with you anymore. It doesn't want to follow you anymore. Okay. So what happened to your voice? Okay. Instead of try not to use idiom, but try to make use of the words, the descriptive words. Okay, he had such a terrified face or terrified look on his face. He let out. He let out the terrified scream. Okay, he wet his pants. Okay. Maybe try not to wet his pants. Is not that appropriate, but yeah, he's scared as if he's trying. Okay, he rooted to the ground, shivering and frowning. Okay, his body was shaking in fear as a serial killer approached him. with a bloody knife in his hand. Okay, the body stiffened. Okay, good. Kalau dekat ni ada, okay. She can't hold herself from running towards when she see her mother comes with her. Okay, so we have few responses over there in the chat, in the Telegram as well. His face turned pale, his body was trembling with fear as a loud shriek was heard behind him. Good. Okay. So for example, he ran away from the shadow with his mouth was open in horror. Contoh, ketakutan kan. So it can be mulut dia terlopong, ketakutan. Yeah, speechless maybe. Okay. And then while running, or you can use, you can describe the body, the movement of his body. While running, his knees were shaking. Nak letak adjective, letak adverb ke situ, was shaking terribly, and he didn't know which direction he was going to. Okay. And then the voice. When dark shadow approached him, he tried to shout out loud, but he could barely get out a few words. Okay. Okay. So these are some of the ways that you can use the show not tell technique. But as mentioned earlier, you don't have to use show not tell in every sentences or in every action. Only in just choose certain action that you want to describe. For example, just now the athlete, maybe the running, how he runs, how the action of falling down, how he fell terribly, and so on. Okay, so choose which actions that you choose which action that you want to describe when you write your story. Okay, and then this is how you can make use of the vocabulary and the descriptive words that you have learned in your class. Okay, I don't want to take your time, much of your time. Okay, so I guess let's recap a bit. Maybe you can just refer to the notes later on. You have the notes with you, so you can make use of it. Try to write and ask your teacher whether your sentences is correct or not. Okay, and then let's recap a little bit before we sum up the session. Okay, so we have covered our format for this year, starting this year. Okay, and also looking at the writing paper, whereby we have 3 sections, section 1, 2, and 3, the short message, guided writing, and extended writing. And for extended writing, today we focus on writing narrative or story. Okay. Thank you for the responses. Okay. I don't want to take much time reading all the responses. However, I can see that you are able to write using the show not tell technique. Okay. Thank you in the Telegram as well, and also on the chat box in the Google Meet. Okay. So I guess that's all for today's session. Okay. 4:25 already, 5 minutes left. If you have any question, you can ask. And just now somebody is asking, earlier in the beginning, somebody is asking about the speaking paper. We don't focus on speaking paper yet because we think that that paper can be clarified further by your teacher. Okay. However, if you want to ask about some tips or techniques, you can make use of the activity earlier that we did, which is using the image. Okay. For example, when you describe the picture like this, okay, practice with your friend. Okay, for maybe in the first 2 sessions with your partner, you may find that you have problems with grammatical errors and so on, but try to gain confidence and develop from that. Okay, or you can talk with your teacher or anybody else whom you feel that can give you moral support and to boost your confidence when you want to speak in English. Okay, so I guess that's all for my session. Okay, if you have any question, please ask. And then kalau tak ada, rasanya we can just end the session. Okay, so I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Perdana Negeri Perak for the opportunity, and to all the teachers who are present today, and also to all the students who are here from the beginning of the session until the end. And for those who are watching this recording later on, make use of the guide. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, it's not a compulsory thing to be followed. You may adapt and adopt based on your own capability and ability in using the language. Okay, thank you for listening, especially in the live streaming, even though you cannot respond in the chat box like those in the Google Meet, but you responded well, excellently in the Telegram group. Okay, thank you. And to our moderator as well, Cikgu Zatil, for moderating the chat in the Telegram and also in the chat box. So I guess that's all. I give the floor back to our moderator.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hazwan. Okay, it seems like we both are busy, yeah? You know, focusing on chat box and then also in the Telegram, but it is I do believe all the students and teachers out there agree with me. It is a fruitful session. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And also not forgotten, thanks a lot for all the teachers who are being in the chat box and helping out. Okay, it is an awesome collaboration. Okay, thank you so much. And we both pray and wish all of you students, candidates SPM 2021, CFR Align. Okay, good luck and wish you all the best in your examination.